Welcome back to another episode of Airshot Podcast. This is episode 2. Today we talking about what's the difference between being selfish and having self-preservation for yourself. Now, being selfish goes into a whole story within itself. You just only out for you. You have no other thought, no consideration for nobody else's well-being, no thoughts about how this person might feel about what you might say, what you might do, how you feel, just in general. That's just simply what it is. You can be down to your last dollar. A person gonna look at you and won't split 50 cents with you. You can be down to a last tank of gas. Somebody got an extra 20. It's things that you do that go a long way that other people won't. They don't even need to know about. You just do out of the kindness of your heart. Now, self-preservation is honestly putting yourself in a whole position to where you can worry about what you have going on in your life. If you giving everybody else a blip, oh my goodness. If you giving everybody else a block to build their castle and build their home, what blocks do you have to build your own castle? What village can you be if you all here giving out the crops, giving out the supplies, everything you need to make sure everything is whole within the one in yourself, but you over here supplying everybody else? Not everybody can be supplied. Not everybody can be saved. Not everybody can be helped. It's only up to you to really determine who stays and who goes. It's a lot of selfish people, and it's a lot of people that care about you. You have to weed the ones out. That goes into a whole topic within itself. You have to know that. You have to look from within and see who really is with you. Having self-preservation is kind of like, it's like it's an article. I'm gonna put the author right here. I don't steal off nobody. I'm gonna put the author right here. He said, self-preservation is the mean cousin of selfishness. It's like the cousin of selfishness. You have the opposite. You have something that is necessarily the same, but it's kind of the opposite of whatever you are. So, but you have to be selfish sometimes. You ever thought about that? You have to be selfish. Being selfish, the difference between being selfish and the self-preservation. The self-preservation is you are putting yourself in a position to where you're trying to win. But being selfish is kind of like, it ties into greed a little bit. Being selfish is you don't necessarily care about your own well-being, but you got to make sure you get every little bit piece of it. If that makes sense. I don't know if you really understand what I'm trying to say. It's like, sometimes you really have to be selfish because a lot of people set themselves at a certain standard. Sometimes they don't think highly of themselves. So what they do is they be complacent about what they have and how much they give out and take. Sometimes you're very much worth way more than you honestly think, but you think that you're just only subjected to this small little plate of food when you can get the whole fucking buffet. Excuse my language, but you can get the whole buffet. But that goes into, sometimes you need selfishness and sometimes you need self-preservation. That's why I'm saying it's a cousin thing. Sometimes you get one and you get the other. Not necessarily saying one is subjected into their own way of being right, because at other chances one doesn't necessarily. It's like a yin and yang. One goes with the other. So you got to really think about that. Am I not selfish enough? Am I being too selfish? Am I not putting myself first enough? Am I putting everybody else's worries, needs, and thoughts and everybody's desires in front of them before me? Think about that. Am I really doing that? Is it really worth doing that? Or is my emotions taken away from how I necessarily feel about it? Is my emotions getting in the way of that? Because sometimes our emotions could honestly hinder that type of want when we want out of life. Sometimes our emotions, caring about what a person might feel about me. If I care so much about what a person might feel, if I take away what they've been getting from me, that's them being selfish. If I take that away, am I being selfish? Sometimes some people think like that. They like to feel belittled in a certain sense. So, you ready to get into this story? You ready to get into the story? I got a story for you, but it's finna be on part 2. I'm finna tell you the story. Ready? All right.